Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of... Actually, no, I lied. This is for mid-May 2022. We're just going to jump right in here, Cancer, and we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. Right away, I feel like you need more fun in your life. You have this, the fifth house card, and it says passions on it. Whenever I get this fifth house card, to me, the fifth house is a card of, or a house of like hobbies, doing things that you enjoy, doing all that other stuff. So I definitely feel that energy for you in this last row, that something is not, you even have the Tower. The Tower can represent boredom. It doesn't really represent boredom, but the Tower happens because things have been the same for too long. These people have been ignoring reality, and it's like sometimes we just need a break from reality. And a great way to do that is to like enjoy some sort of hobby or to do something that you enjoy doing. That's usually where you get your answers. I don't want to be too preachy about this, but I always tell people I was stuck for like 3-4 years in my life where I just like basically did nothing. And I just wouldn't allow myself to do anything as well. I was like punishing myself for like not doing work, or I was doing a lot of work at the time, which is funny, but it just wasn't working. So I wouldn't allow myself to have fun because I basically was not making money. I was like negative money, right? And it wasn't until I started, until I surrendered to the universe, right? And I said, okay, I started going out. I started doing what I could do even without money, right? I started walking as well, and I started developing like other passions and doing things that I was passionate about for free basically at the time. But then I started this channel. So, it's like, again, that's usually where we get all our answers when we're doing something that we enjoy, like walking. It's like that's where I get all my answers basically to the problems that I'm dealing with, and I feel like you kind of need that. You start off with this main female card. Again, I don't attach gender to my cards in these general readings, so I feel that this is just you showing up in the reading. I don't really feel like it's talking about anyone else. So again, it doesn't matter what gender you are. I feel like this is just saying main person, I feel like it's just representing you in the reading. You have the Three of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and the Page of Swords. I feel like you need to realize that things are not going to be the same as they were in the past. Three of Pentacles is like a lot of work that you've already done in your life. What I think is interesting in this row is that you have the Five of Swords. He's kind of actually aiming in this direction, this guy right here. And then the Page of Swords is also aiming towards the past. And I feel like you need to, I don't know, it's kind of like a weird message that I get here. It's like Three of Pentacles about work that you've already done. He's already built those Three Pentacles. It's a great card. It's a card of quality work. He has done a good job at, building those Three Pentacles. There is a water triangle right here below the Three Pentacles, and the water triangle, it kind of represents something more. It kind of like says he could add something more to what he is doing, or he might be able to kind of like take it to the next level, right? He has built the Three Pentacles, which is a fire triangle right at the top here, but it's like maybe there's more, maybe he's dreaming of more. And that's kind of how I see this. Even that fifth house reading, that fifth house card, it's like a painting, and it's like, I feel like you could be almost taking something to the next level here. You could be adding some, color, making something more vibrant in your life. I'm not exactly sure what it is, so that's why I'm speaking generally here. We're going to clarify in this reading, and I'm sure we'll find out, but let's see. You have the Five of Swords here, some sort of risk, that you could be taking. You do have the Five of Swords, Ten of Swords in the Tower. Sometimes, like, I think it is one of those times right now, and I just see this in the astrology. The reason I'm saying think is because, again, I can't really tell. Very unpredictable time right now. Very unpredictable things are happening. And I also feel we're going to see a lot of volatility in life in general. It's funny, like someone was asking me, I was on a podcast like months ago, right? Asking about Bitcoin. And I was like, I think investments this year are going to be bonkers, is basically what I said in that interview. I said, I think if you're smart and you know what you're doing, you'll probably make a lot of money, because I think it's going to be extremely volatile, and basically I was proven right? So I feel like there is a lot of volatility, which I see here in your reading with the Ten of Swords, the Tower. Very up and down energy, and it's like learning to deal with that energy is kind of like part of what's going on here. I also feel like doing things regardless of the volatility is also kind of what's coming up here. What I mean by that is that there's a lot of craziness in the world, but it's like, what can you do now? What can you do to, improve your situation? What can you do to make money? Or what can you do to find love regardless of the things that are going on around you? I don't really have a good example here with this tower, but like what I'm feeling is like, I don't know if you've ever been through a difficult breakup, for example. It's like you don't want to do anything. But I feel like this reading is asking you to do something anyway, even if it's just a tiny little thing, right? I feel you're going to make a lot of progress because of it. But I kind of understand where you're coming from here, Cancer, because I feel like the wanting to get up and get going is a little bit of a challenge here. Again, the Page of Swords, I feel like is saying, stop looking at the past. I feel like it's time to look towards the future, Cancer. You have this Beyond the Ordinary card. Again, I think we are in just very unique times, let's put it that way. It's going to be very exciting. I do feel like there are a lot of reasons to be excited. I feel a lot of people are scared, but I don't think we should be scared. I think that it could be a very exciting time. It's going to be whatever we make it. But I do feel that there are some like extraordinary circumstances happening in the world, and the good news about this is I feel like there are, number one, going to be extraordinary solutions, but I also feel that there could be extraordinary opportunities for pretty much everyone to do things that they want to do, and that's what is going on here. You have the Page of Cups, the Magician, and the Ten of Swords. This kind of looks like the death of some sort of dream to me here, Cancer, is what I would say. Not trying to be negative, but he's holding on to this cup, and there's a fish in that cup. I would say that fish could represent a dream. It could represent something that he is imagining having, or he is imagining happening in his life, and he needs to grab onto that fish. He needs to make it happen. And I do feel for some of you, you have this Magician here. The Magician, he is pointing actually down. He is pointing to the tower right here. And so I kind of don't know how to feel about this yet, honestly. I think when we clarify, we'll see. But I have a feeling that he's saying, like, the tower is bringing you to a blank canvas. I feel like the tower happens, and the tower always brings us down to a foundation. It kind of brings us to this flat point where we can build upon it and create something new. And I do feel like some of you are kind of like letting go of something from the past with the Ten of Swords. Could be a dream. I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal. But I do feel for some of you, you need to realize that you have like unlimited potential. I always get these comments from people that are like, I have this invention, for example, I have an invention, but I don't have enough money to patent it, and I don't want someone to steal it. And it's like, I've heard a lot of successful people talk about this, and a lot of them say, just put it out into the world. It's like, you're not only, number one, there's a couple of things. Number one, right? It's like, is someone going to steal it? It's like, well, people steal things that are patented in the first place, right? So it doesn't really matter that it's patented, probably not, right? But you're not only going to ever have one good idea. I think people need to get away from that thought that they're only ever going to have one good idea. And it's kind of like a lack mentality. It's not an abundance mentality as well. But on top of that, I always tell people, it's like, if you have an invention that's truly amazing, right? Maybe you do, and it makes you, I don't know, $1 million, right? And someone steals it, or wasn't patented, and that's all you ever make. It's like, okay, $1 million is like a lot of money. That would put you in a very good position. It would probably get you out of the position you're in now. And again, you're not going to only ever have one good idea. That's what I feel like is going on here. I'm not saying it's an invention, Cancer. I'm just using that as an example. It's like, again, sometimes I think we get into a relationship, the person leaves us, and we're like, oh my God, I'm never going to find another good person again. Not true, right? Or maybe we want to start a business, and maybe we realize that we can't start it. And so we get kind of hooked onto that idea. I feel like this reading is asking you to release your hooks into something and kind of develop that abundance mentality. You have this Passions card. Again, if you're looking for answers, I feel doing things that you're passionate about, taking time and putting effort into things that you love, cherish, and enjoy. That's what I'd be doing with this fifth house energy, is I would be doing something that you love doing. You have the Seven of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Tower here. The Seven of Pentacles really asks, is the juice worth the squeeze? He's looking at those Seven Pentacles, and he's like saying, is this the best I can do, or is there something better? And again, I feel like you need to realize that there is something better for you. It's like, I think there's some old writing advice for writers. For example, it's like when you finish a book, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to immediately get started on your next one, right? And a lot of people always tell me I have this book that I want to write. Should I write it? I'm always like, well, real writers write. That's what I say. So it's like you should just be writing in the first place, right? So I feel that that's what this is kind of like asking you to do. It's like maybe you're wrapping something up in your life, and I feel like it's saying like, boom, immediately get started on the next thing. Just kind of roll over the energy, if that makes sense. Because I feel like you're going to be successful very, very quickly with the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a card of quick success, card of abundance, and it's also a card of conclusions as well. We kind of know that there's a conclusion here. Ten of Swords, the Tower, obviously. But I feel that this is going to be a positive conclusion, not necessarily a negative conclusion. So let's see. I want to see what is going on here. What is this conclusion all about? With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Wands. So again, could be bringing some burdens to an end at this time. It's like you're about to reach his house. I would say I like the Ten of Wands. He's about to have his reward. The Ten of Wands, those wands represent abundance. He has created those wands. They are his harvest. So it's like he's about to have a harvest, but he has been working very hard towards something, or he's been working very hard at something. And again, I get that here with the Three of Pentacles. It's like you're hoping to get your reward for the work that you've done. And with the Five of Swords, you have the Sun. See, there's like a lot of happiness coming in for you, but there's a lot of stuff here about passions. The Sun represents your inner child, or what would you do if you could just do anything, right? What would you do if money was no object, right? If there wasn't money, even what would be the thing that you would just work on day in, day out, just because you actually want to? I think you need to start thinking of that with the Sun card, right? Like, what would you do just because? For fun, right? There's never been a time in history where you could actually make money doing things that you actually just love doing, right? YouTube. There are people who have plenty of channels with like millions of subs that are based off of hobbies, basically. There are people who play video games for a living. Like, are you kidding me? And it's like, so it doesn't matter what you love to do. There are ways, and there are going to be more ways in the future to monetize it, I believe. With the Page of Swords, you have the Hermit. A lot of people getting the Hermit at this time, and I just feel that there's a very withdrawn energy in the astrology, so it doesn't really surprise me that the Hermit is coming up so much, but I do feel like some of you kind of could be opening up. With the Page of Cups, you have the Three of Swords. If you have love coming in, you could be thinking about past love situations. It is Mercury retrograde right now, and so it wouldn't surprise me if you could be just thinking a lot about past love situations, past heartbreaks with the Three of Swords. I would just be careful of kind of like spiraling like Eight of Cups. You don't have the Eight of Cups here, but the Eight of Cups is about getting sucked down into an emotional whirlpool. It's like, I don't know if you've ever, it's like I've done this. I'm a Pisces, right? So I've done this a million times where it's like I tell myself a story in my head. I get all worked up about a story that doesn't even exist. I feel like this right here is saying, don't do that. Don't like start telling yourself stories about love, business, or otherwise, and kind of start living emotionally a story in your head that doesn't exist. And with the Magician, you have the Devil. Again, some of you are definitely dealing with a toxic situation. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So some of you could have been kind of blindsided here, but that's the word that's popping into my head by someone who's toxic, and I feel like it led to a Tower moment. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Nine of Wands. This has probably made you guarded a little bit. And I do feel, that this probably happened in the past, and now it's time to open back up, is what the Nine of Wands is saying. Nine of Wands asks us to open back up. Again, I don't think tarot should tell you what to do, and, I don't think that's what this is saying. But, again, if you want love, I feel it's time, or it is kind of like safe for you to open back up. And with the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Page of Pentacles. Time to start working on something new. Like I said, not time to pause. So if you're finishing something up, I would immediately get working on the next thing. I wouldn't wait. It's like the same thing with YouTube. People always ask me for advice on YouTube, and I always tell people I would create like 10 videos and schedule those out, get them going, and don't look to see how they're doing. Just keep creating videos, right? That's what you have to do. You can't stop. YouTube loves momentum. YouTube loves just the constant creation. Should we be learning from the things that we're creating? Absolutely, but we have to get started first. So And I get that feeling for you here. It doesn't have to be YouTube. Whatever it is you're working on, I really get this feeling of this like need to keep that momentum going without needing to look at results. It's like the Seven of Pentacles, he might be stopping to look at results when it's like he, instead of stopping and looking at results, he could be planting more seeds, you know? And I kind of get that feeling for you here, where I feel like this reading is saying, you know, don't stop the progress, you know, keep it going. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Tower. Clearly, you've been through some sort of Tower moment. I kind of feel like this is a conclusion that you are experiencing here. I have a feeling we're going to pull an extra row. And with the Tower, you have the Two of Swords. You know, she is like sitting where she has always been. She needs to see that there's this island behind her. That island like represents new opportunity. It represents new things. It kind of represents a new island. It represents her going somewhere where she has never been before. So where is this reading going? Very, again, not gonna lie, heavy reading. You actually had the Five of Pentacles in reverse there. I don't read reversals, but Five of Pentacles says do not call attention to your weaknesses. Five of Pentacles just says focus on, you know, what you can do, focus on your strengths. Middle row here, Six of Cups. Six of Cups is a turnaround. So if you've been experiencing challenging or difficult energy, the Six of Cups can represent improvements. So I do feel that there are some improvements coming in for you with the Six of Cups, and probably also a turnaround, which is nice. And bottom row here, you have the Ace of Cups, your emotions overflowing, a lot of happiness coming in for you as well. I really feel the Tower isn't so much like a Tower moment as it is a blank canvas, you know, like you being able to start over on something, or you starting fresh on something. But I also feel that need to get back on the horse, right? To use a cliche saying here, this reading is very simple, Cancer. I feel like it's saying get back on the horse, meaning like if you're finishing a project, start another one immediately. You know, right away. If you're worried about love, go on a date, right? Do you have to fall in love with the person? Of course not. But, you know, I feel like it's kind of like a back on the horse type of reading here, if that makes sense. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. Again, I don't think this is an easy month by any means, so it doesn't surprise me that there are challenges, but it looks pretty good. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.